Spooky story time. This happened to me, and we're going to call it the medium. So, I am a small business owner of a year round Halloween store in San Antonio, Texas. And one day, these two women come to my store. They shop around, they buy some stuff, and as they're getting ready to leave, one of the sisters kind of comes back and she looks at me and she's like, "Hey, how do you feel about psychic mediums, paranormal, spirits? Do you believe in that stuff?" And I said, "Look around. Of course I do. I believe in all of it." So she comes right back into the store, and her sister's like, "Here we go." And she tells me, "My name is so and so, and I'm a psychic medium." And I said, "Okay." And she said, "Can I ask you something?" And I said, "Let it rip, sister. Go ahead." And she said, "There is someone standing behind you, and he's tall, he's slim, he has tattoos on his head, on his neck. He has tattoos everywhere." She stays quiet and she's like, "He's your husband's friend. Do you know who I'm talking about?" And I was like, "Absolutely. It is one of his very close friends that passed years ago, about maybe 10, 11 years ago." And immediately I was floored because how could she possibly know this? His description, the fact that he's my husband's friend, like, you know? So we start talking, and she's like, "I have another question. Is this space blessed?" And I said, "Well, I cleanse it about once a week just because you never know who's walking into your area. So I always cleanse it. I burn sage, I burn incense, just a whole bunch of stuff." And she says, "Yeah, I can tell that this place is kind of protected because he is standing behind you and he's telling me something. He's talking. He wants to say something, but I don't understand what he's saying because his words are just jumping like off the walls. And that normally happens when your place is protected." And I was like, "Yes." Then she asks me, "Are you intrigued by Ouija boards?" And I said, "I collect them." And she's like, "Yeah, I'm getting that vibe from you. And all I have to say is don't do it. I don't mess with them. I don't play with them, but I've been wanting to play with one for a long time." And she said, "Don't do it." Then she proceeds to tell me, "Hasn't anybody told you that you're a ley line?" And I was like, "Oh, what is that? I don't know what that is." And she says, "Imagine being in a pitch black room and you have a flashlight lit right here. It's like you're blinded, you can't see anything. But if there's anyone out there, they can see you." And I said, "Okay." So she says, "If you wanted to open your third eye, you'd be able to communicate with spirits. I'm sensing that you have a gift, you just haven't opened it yet." She said, "Do you always witness weird stuff? Noises, you see things, you hear things, and it always only happens to you?" And I said, "All the time. All the time. Since I was little, I've always seen stuff. I've always heard things. I've always known things. I've had intuitions. And even now that I'm married, sometimes I would see stuff and I would tell my husband, and he's like, kind of like not believing me because it always happened to me." So she says that it's like if I'm standing in the room with the flashlight on and the spirits can see that they can come to me to communicate. The problem is I can't hear them. I'm not open to that channel yet. So she proceeds to ask me if I'm interested in learning how to open that side and if I want access to it. And I just don't know how I feel. What's crazy is that I've had at least 3 people tell me the same thing, that I have a gift and that's why I'm so intrigued by it. So she says for me not to play the Ouija board because of the gift that I have, that it would just be chaos. It would not be good. And I'm going to take her word for it. I don't plan on playing one anytime soon. But what do you guys think about psychic mediums and being able to see and hear things? Do you believe in that? I'm considering it, but I'm just scared. What do you guys think?